Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. However this might find you, welcome to Riffin on Main Street. I'm Ken Elmore. I happen to be the proud president of Dean College, and I like to take this time to talk with some people in and around Franklin and Dean. So today I'm joined by Pauline Spender, and we're going to talk a little bit about, I think, a really unique perspective here in Franklin. Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about who you are without telling me exactly what you do and no titles and anything like that.
Okay. I was born and raised in Franklin. I am a proud mom of two.
Uh-huh.
I went to Tri-County, the vocational high school in Franklin.
All right.
One of my children went to Tri-County also, and the other goes to Franklin High School.
Uh-huh.
My birthday is actually the same day as Franklin's.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yep. So Franklin, the museum has a birthday party every year for the town, and they do a little birthday party with a cake and all that just to celebrate.
Nice.
We try to attend as much as we can,
Uh-huh.
things like that. I live in the same neighborhood, in the same house that I grew up in. I'm
Really? The same neighborhood, same house?
Yep. I'm helping take care of my parents now.
Okay.
And we have some older neighbors, and we help them out too.
All right.
I like to teach my children that, that's what life's about.
Yeah, sure.
Family, friends, neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
We all do it together.
So you are Franklin through and through.
I am.
Oh, wow. So, what's that like to spend a significant part of your life in, the same place?
Yeah. When you think, time flies.
Yeah.
I just can't even believe how fast it's gone. But when you really think about it, it's like I enjoyed every part of Franklin. I enjoyed growing up in Franklin.
Right.
I think Franklin has a lot to offer.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted both of my children to have the option to go to Franklin High School or Tri-County if that was what they wished, just to have that opportunity.
Uh-huh.
Some of these towns only have one high school, that's it, or it's a split high school with two towns together.
Right.
For us in Franklin to have that for our kids for education is just
Nice.
Yeah.
So you said that time goes fast. Do you feel like you've seen change, or do you feel like it stayed kind of as is?
I've definitely seen change. My daughter, when she had the interest in Dean College, just to go up and walk around the campus and see, wow, I didn't believe it was this big, or these buildings have changed.
Right.
But they're still beautiful. And then the town itself, some of the intersections and the town, the center that used to be one way.
Right.
I actually grew up there used to be a movie theater in Franklin.
Oh, really? Tell us about that.
So it's not there anymore. They had tore it down. I think they're building apartments or something around it. But Franklin Zoetrope Theater, I think that was the name of it.
Yeah, they were all orpheums.
Right on Main Street. My dad was a projectionist at that time.
Wow.
So I used to go with him and go upstairs to the box and watch the movies through the little screen. And then
and for those of you who don't understand this, it wasn't digital, right? Big reels.
Big reels.
Humongous reels.
And the projectionist had to set up the reels, get them on the thing, every night and get them ready to go. And they had to stay in there because if there was ever a break or something stopped, they had to be right there to get it going. So, and then when I got old enough, then I ended up working there.
You did?
Yep.
Wow.
For a couple of years. And then, that's when you Franklin was so small, you knew everybody.
Oh, you did?
Everybody.
Do you feel like you still know everybody in Franklin?
It's definitely grown a lot. So there is a lot of new people.
Mm-hmm.
I still see people, though, that I either grew up with or went to school with or was my teacher.
Okay.
So
what do you think it is about Franklin? Because I noticed that, too, that around here, I guess I run into all the people who've been in Franklin forever. What do you think it is about Franklin that keeps people here? What keeps
I think
you
it's the community. I really do. If ever, tragedy or fundraiser or some family needs something, everybody pitches in.
Right.
Everybody helps each other.
Okay.
And it's just, that's one of the reasons, too, why I stayed, is because it just feels like family.
So you've been around Dean College. You've got someone who goes to Dean College now.
Yes, my daughter, she will be a senior. Mr. Siebert.
Oh, Greg Siebert.
Greg Siebert.
Great professor at Dean College.
Yes, we toured. Now, this was right before COVID started shutting things down, and she was looking at schools. And she said, let's go look at Dean. And I said, sounds good. So we met with him, and he showed Taylor the studio, the sound studio, all the equipment, and her eyes were just stars. She just fell in love.
Yeah.
And we walked back to the car, and she's like, he just made my decision for me. I want to go to Dean. I said, that's what you want? She's like, I do. I love it. She wanted a smaller school. She wanted, nothing too big that she'd be lost in.
Yeah.
I think that was one reason why she had chose Tri-Counties, because it's a little smaller than Franklin High, and she wanted, something a little smaller. She just fell in love with Dean.
Well, you must be doing something great, because most children want to get as far away from their parents as possible. I lived in a community where there were a lot of colleges, and my kids went as far away as they could from us. They just didn't want to be in the same space. So you must be doing something just right to keep that connection.
She definitely, she didn't want to go too far. She's a family girl, so she wanted to be around.
So you also have that honor of being a March 2nd birthday when Franklin was founded.
Yes.
Have you seen the recent stuff that's come out about the founding of Franklin and how they thought Benjamin Franklin had been assassinated?
Yes.
And they wanted to honor him, and relatives and books and all that sort of stuff. It's like intriguing.
It is. It really is. And I mean, if you go to in the Franklin Historical Museum and see the books and the artifacts and all that they have to offer about Franklin.
Right.
It's just like, wow, I can't believe, we have all this history right here.
Right. It's amazing, the history that's right here.
Right, yep.
I couldn't believe that, we're fortunate at Dean College that the Franklin Public Library is on the campus.
Yes.
Or they could say that we're on their campus.
That's true, right?
So do they do anything special for you on May 2nd? Or
so
do you get special privileges?
Yeah, the Historical Museum throws a birthday party for the town of Franklin every year around March 2nd, that weekend of.
Right.
And they have a list from the town of anybody born who lives in Franklin born on March 2nd, and they send them all an invitation to the party. And they, when you go in the door, they ask you if you're a birthday, and they put your name in a drawing, and they give you Ben Franklin if you win the drawing.
Have you won?
I have won 3 times.
3 times?
My children laugh at me because they're like, "Oh, you going again because you want to win?"
Oh, wow! So are a lot of people born on Franklin Day?
So because of COVID, they had stopped it. And they did it. For some reason, something happened last year with the heat or something in the building, so they didn't have it. But the year before that, I thought she said there were 22 people living in Franklin from age 1 all the way up. Actually, there was a gentleman there who was 93.
Wow.
That had March 2nd birthdays.
How cool! That is really neat. So, all right. So now you can tell us, what do you do?
I'm actually a hairdresser.
Okay.
I went to Tri-County for hairdressing.
You did?
So I graduated with my hairdressing hours to be able to take my exam and
from Tri-County
and get my license.
Okay.
And I apprenticed in Millis for 2.5 years.
All right, we won't hold that against you.
I know.
Franklin.
And then I went and managed a salon in Bellingham.
Okay. All right.
And
again, we won't hold it against you.
Did a lot of training and managing, and I have 2 younger sisters that also went to Tri-County for hairdressing.
Okay.
So they were my employees.
Oh, wow.
And my mom was one of my receptionists.
Okay, that sounds fraud.
So, yeah, I kind of filled one day we just decided, hey, we're working together. We've got a nice clientele here. Why don't we try opening our own?
Okay.
So that was it'll be 24 years ago.
Wow.
We opened our own salon. Unfortunately, it's in Bellingham.
Yep. That's not unfortunate.
It's one town over.
The people in Bellingham need stuff.
That's right. That's right.
You can travel over there. I don't know if you can do much with this.
There wasn't a lot of property options for salon in Franklin at the time we were looking, and we just happened to fall on something that somebody was retiring.
Yeah.
So we kind of took over from there, and so now I own and manage and run my business.
So, what made you decide this is where you want to go?
I think younger. I've always kind of liked playing with Barbie doll's hair and stuff like that. I used to do my mom's hair sometimes at home, and she'll die and say that. One time I was on the phone with my boyfriend, and I left the permassist in her hair too long and made her extra curly. She blamed me being on the phone, but it was an experiment, I tell her.
Oh, yeah, right.
But yeah, I just, thought I'd like to try it. So by going to Tri-County, they let you try different things.
Right.
And I went through the hairdressing, and this is what I want. This is what I want to do.
And do you feel like, and it sounds like this really worked well for you, but do you feel like at Tri-County you really got a sense of not only, the technical skills that you need, but it sounds like you got a pretty good business acumen and sort of a management acumen too.
Yes. We did take a business management course.
Yeah.
Because you basically had your hands-on training,
right.
but you also had so many hours of book work that you did while you were going through the course.
Yep. So
we had actually a business class built in. Mm-hmm. So it kind of gave you the foundation for it.
Yeah.
By getting the job managing kind of gave me a lot more.
It did.
And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to open my own. And
so actually doing helped. So when you decided to open your own, I'm assuming that was some risky stuff. I mean, how'd you feel about doing that?
Yeah, it was.
You're taking a deep breath right now, right?
At that time, I had been married maybe 2 years.
Uh-huh.
Both my sisters had little ones.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have any children at that time, but we had bought a house, so I had a mortgage.
Yep.
And it was like, okay, I gotta pay rent for my business.
Right.
I have to pay my mortgage and make enough, to support, my family too. So can we make this work?
Okay.
Working in the other salon, we had so many clients say, hey, wherever you go, we're going.
Ah, okay.
So they followed us we weren't too far from that other salon, so they followed us. So we kind of knew, all right, we have all these people.
Yeah.
And then, anybody in the area that saw, hey, there's a new salon there, let's go try it.
Yep.
We picked up new people. I picked up people I brought.
You made the leap.
And
wow.
And it was definitely a success.
I'm sure you're glad you did.
I'm so glad. It was the best decision.
It must have been nerve-wracking then.
It was a little bit, and then COVID wasn't easy.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you about that.
Thank goodness, the landlord I have now, it was amazing. The state had closed us down for 3 months.
Right, I remember that.
He did not charge my rent.
Oh, wow.
He was, like I said, he was a savior because he was, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have, that not to worry about.
Yeah, how wonderful.
When you own your own business, you can't collect. So,
wow.
I had a client. She has recently passed. She passed away. She would have been 97. She was one of the ones that we were talking earlier about licenses.
Yes.
She was one of the ones that she never got her license because at that age you didn't. So her husband used to drive her. He had passed away 2 years before. She lived right up the street.
Okay.
So I used to go pick her up.
You would.
And bring her for her hair. She had a nephew. She never had any children. She had a nephew. He would bring her sometimes too, but if he couldn't, then I would.
Yeah.
I got a check in the mail for $500 one day from her during COVID. And she said, I know you're not working. I feel so bad. I want to help.
Yeah.
So, and I had a couple other clients that had helped me out too, so.
Well, so much about salons, it's really that experience. When I used to go to a barbershop or a salon, it was really so I could see people I hadn't seen. It was so I could talk to the people
That's my favorite.
Who were doing the work there. It was for the music.
Yep.
It was like a community center, in all honesty. And
yes.
it was that experience that I really needed. And so, wow, that's case in point there.
And that's my favorite part of my job.
Yeah.
Is the people.
It's the hospitality.
It's talking, learning, seeing.
Yeah.
I have a client, husband, wife, and they had 2 children. They were from Medway.
Okay.
And they followed me from Bellingham to my other son in Bellingham. I've known them for probably 24 years. They've watched my children grow.
Right.
I've watched their children grow, and now they are grandparents, and they bring me pictures of their grandchildren, and they ask me all the time, how's Taylor? How are they doing? What are they doing now? And it's just that sense of, like I said, family. It's
It's family,
It's what it
it's
is.
service, it's everything.
Yes.
It's
Yep, but everybody that comes in my salon is like, this is home to me.
Yeah.
Please don't leave because this is my home. I don't know what I'd do if you weren't here because I want to be here. I want to,
sure.
see what's going on here. And others, like neighbors, they meet up and they're like, hey, how you doing? They'll sit and talk for a little bit while I'm doing something else.
Of course.
Yep.
How's the rebound from COVID been?
So, actually,
You're back?
back and actually better.
Good.
I actually gained like a few of my clients' husbands
Oh.
that used to go to like a walk-in place.
Yeah.
I ended up kind of inheriting them. Because I'm small, I don't have a huge salon, it's smaller.
Right.
They felt more comfortable coming in knowing that there was not a lot of people there. They didn't have to like sit next to her because everybody was very nervous. Once
Right.
COVID kind of was starting to ease up, he was still nervous about, all right, if I go in that store, how many people will be there?
Yeah.
So a lot of them said, hey, would you mind cutting my husband's hair? He isn't comfortable going. I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
So
Bring him in.
now, yep. And
Drive
now,
him
I'm
in.
like, yep. So now it's like, okay, so I've.
Ah, cool. Now, have you seen the new Barbie movie?
I have not yet.
Okay.
It is on the list
Yet,
though because
okay.
hey, I grew up with Barbie and
you
all
mentioned
that.
Barbie.
Yes, we did. So it
Yeah.
is on our list
All right.
to see. That and there's another movie that just came out with
Oppenheimer.
it. Yes. So my husband wants to see that, and I was like,
I
so we
see.
made a compromise. All right, we'll go do both. So
Do both. Both.
Yes.
Are you one of those people going to dress
So-
up as well?
no, I won't go that far. We were actually having dinner the other night up by the movie theater. We saw some outrageous.
It's been
But it looks so fun. I'm like, hey, they're having
Yeah.
fun. They're enjoying it. So
yeah, it's been really wonderful. Watching people dress up.
yes, and the movie theater business. It
Yeah.
has definitely brought so many people back
Yeah, it
to the
has.
movies, which I love because, like I said, I grew up in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
movies, in the movie theaters, and
Yeah,
all
right,
that.
right.
So just to see them be able to have a business and support
Right.
themselves.
And who knew, huh?
No, Barbie would do it.
Right. Well, and my understanding is both of these movies are movies about ideas. And it's great to see that people are getting into these spaces, having an incredible time and experience
Yes.
with each other. I also see people dressed up like Oppenheimer, too. I'm
Yeah,
seeing
actually, we saw some
suits and big glasses and stuff. So, and
Yes.
it's wonderful. All right, I always ask people as we start to wrap up, what do you recommend I watch or read or see that you're checking out that you would recommend? Aside from Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah. I like Ellen Hildebrand as an
Tell me.
author.
Yeah, tell me about her.
It's a little romancy, but she also does some mystery involved. But she writes about everything from Nantucket and Cape Cod. So all of her books are geared around that. So she mentions places that as a kid I was at or grew up, or I know that restaurant or
got
stuff
it.
like that. So it kind of makes you reminisce a little bit about, growing up down the Cape or
Yeah.
stuff like that. She's one of my favorites.
Is there a book you'd throw out there? Recommend?
So I'm reading right now. Hotel Nantucket was last summer's read, and then
Okay.
she just came out with 5-Star Weekend,
Okay.
and I'm in the middle of that right now.
Good.
So, and it's good.
Oh,
it's good.
all right,
I have a
all right.
little lending library at
Oh,
my
you do?
salon.
Well,
So I have some clients that bring books to me to pass on to others.
nice.
And a client had brought in a book because I kind of have my authors that I like. But
Yeah.
she had brought in a book from the Orange Book Club.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bestseller.
Yep.
And it was a name, I'm not even sure of the author's name, but it was a book that I never would have picked up unless someone had handed this to me and said, just try it. And it was very, very
It's
good.
nice.
Yes.
That's what's wonderful
Yes.
about these kinds of things.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to recommend trashy TV. I am really into maybe I shouldn't call it trashy. I'm into Bravo TV.
Oh, okay.
One day I'm going to go to BravoCon, but I really am enjoying the Housewives of New York City.
Oh,
So
okay.
okay. That's been my thing.
Yep. Yep. I've
for
seen a
bit.
few of those,
Yeah.
but the Below the Deck one,
Oh, I love Below Deck.
we've watched that a few times.
Yes, absolutely.
Anything like travel and seeing different places, we kind of
That's
watch
what I love.
just to see, like what does that look like? And
Yeah, I love that. Well, there is this series. It's done now, but it was called Sense8, and it is this beautifully shot series about a group of people who have this telekinetic connection with each other, but they're all around the world. And so this is a series that took place all around the world. Beautiful. Music is beautiful.
Yep.
Great story. A story that can seem a little complex and hard to follow, but you stick with it, you get it.
It brings it together, yep.
And it's just beautiful, and I really love Sense8 because of that.
Okay. I'll
So,
have to look at that one
something
then.
to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, Pauline, thank you for joining us.
Oh, no
by
problem.
the way, you want to tell us what the name of your shop is?
My salon is called Three Sisters Salon.
How about
Because
that?
when we did open it, it was the three sisters.
Oh, okay. That's
Yes.
cool. Very
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure, and I hope folks can join us again on Riffin on Main Street.
This program was made possible by your Franklin friends and neighbors, good folks just like you. Thanks for supporting Franklin TV. And thanks for watching.